In this video, we will learn about human diseases. Now, first of all, the word disease. Basically, if there is any kind of malfunction in your body, we term it as disease. Okay. Now, it is a disorder of the body. Now, disease can be classified into two types. One is congenital and another is acquired. Congenital means by birth. Acquired means in lifetime you get the disease. Okay. Now, diseases can also be classified in several other ways, such as based on the pattern of spread of the disease, it can be an endemic, it can be an epidemic, it can be a pandemic, it can be a sporadic. Okay. Now, pandemic you have already seen in your lifetime, which was COVID-19. Okay. Now, based on the communicability, it is non-communicable and communicable. Communicable like common cold, AIDS, etc. Now, based on the modes of transmission, it can be airborne, which means by air it is spreading, waterborne, which means by water, vector-borne, which means that an insect is carrying it. Okay. Based on the pathogen, it can be bacterial, it can be viral, it can be protozoan, or it can be helminthic. Now, endemic diseases. First of all, a disease is said to be endemic when its occurrence is restricted to a certain area and affects only a few number of people. Okay, let us suppose you go in the sub-Himalayan region. Okay, now in this sub-Himalayan region, you will see goiter. Goiter is nothing but the enlargement of the thyroid gland. Okay, so this is termed as goiter and it is found in sub-Himalayan region. So it is an endemic of sub-Himalayan region. Okay, now yellow fever in certain African countries only. Now epidemic is a disease which is breaking out and spread rapidly from one place to another place, affecting a large number of people. For example, in Surat in 1994, India, plague assumed epidemic form. Okay, now spreading to many states. Let's suppose that you live in Rajasthan and let's say you live in Jaipur inside Rajasthan. So there's a disease to certain people in Jaipur, so I'll term it as endemic, which means it is restricted to this particular area. Now from Rajasthan, if this disease is spreading to other places, like let's say Gujarat, let's say Maharashtra, let's say Delhi, then I'll term it as epidemic and many people are getting affected by it. Pandemic is a disease which can spread worldwide like COVID-19 and AIDS, right? Sporadic disease basically means there are scattered cases of a disease like cholera, malaria, etc. Now, type of diseases. So, it can be a congenital disease, which means it is present right before or right from the birth. Now, it can be a genetic disorder. Genetic disorder means that there is a problem in your genetic code. It is means defective genes or environmental factors. Now, these diseases are passed from one to next generation, like hemophilia, like sickle cell anemia, like diabetes, like thalassemia, etc. Okay. Now, what happens is in sickle cell anemia, there is a defect in the genes. Due to the defect in the genes, RBC, which are normally biconcave, becomes sickle shape. Okay. Now, similarly, in thalassemia, there is a problem in the chromosome set 16, or it can be alpha thalassemia, beta thalassemia. You will learn more about these in your higher classes. Acquired diseases. So these are the diseases which are acquired from organism after birth and are not heritable, which means that if you are having common cold or let's say you are having malaria, then this disease will not getting passed to the next generation. So they are non-heritable, which means they are not passed on to the offsprings, such as non-communicable and non-infectious diseases and communicable or infectious diseases. Now, diseases basically are congenital and acquired type. Now, acquired are further classified as non-communicable and communicable diseases. Now, non-communicable and non-infectious diseases. So, these are the diseases which cannot spread from person to person and will remain restricted to one person. Suppose this is me and this is one of my friend. Now my friend is having, let's say, hay fever. This is a disease. Now even if he's standing beside me, I'm not getting infected by these particular disease. Similarly, this disease is not caused by any kind of pathogen or germ. Suppose it was caused by a pathogen or germ, then this would have become a transferable disease. Now it can be of following types. First is degenerative disease. Now this is due to old age. Now as we reach old age, our organs start to degenerate, which means the functioning of the body organs gradually decline. Now this can be malfunctioning of heart, kidney, lungs, hardening of arteries, which is known as atherosclerosis, aching of joints, degeneration of body tissues. It can be a nutritional deficiency disease, like there's deficiency of one or more nutrient vitamin in the diet, like anemia. Okay, now anemia is of many types, and I'm not getting into the details of it. Night blindness, kwashiorkor, which is basically deficiency of protein deficiency. Scurvy, which is vitamin C deficiency. Okay, rickets, etc. Then is allergy. Now, sometimes our body is hypersensitive to some foreign substances. Now, whenever these substances are introduced in our body, then they may cause a very enlarged response towards it, like hay fever and asthma. Okay, so these are the diseases. Now, cancer. Now, what happens is this is our body cells. Now they divide. Normally they divide. Now they are dividing under a controlled manner. Okay. Now it is caused by uncontrollable division of the cells in any part of the body to form a mass of cells. Now this is like, say, a mass of cell, and we call this tumor. Now cancer has several causes, like lung cancer is due to the smoking tobacco, skin cancer is due to exposure to the UV rays. Now mouth cancer can be due to chewing tobacco. Now occupational and industrial diseases, genetic disorders and mental disorders. Okay. Now UV rays you will get from the sun. If you are chewing tobacco, you will get mouth cancers. If you are smoking, you will get lung cancer. Okay. Likewise. Now, communicable or infectious diseases. So these are the diseases that if my friend is having these diseases and if I'm going to his place, then I'm also getting sick. Okay, which means that these are contagious disease or infectious disease. Now they are caused by the entry of a disease causing microorganism such as a bacteria, virus, fungi, or protozoan. Let us suppose there is a housefly. Okay, let's suppose this is a housefly and it is carrying a particular bacteria. So this bacteria will cause the disease. So I'll say that this bacteria is a pathogen. But this bacteria is carried by this housefly to us. So the housefly here becomes the vector. Okay. Be clear about these two words, that the disease causing organism is called pathogen. Now they can transmit from one person to another person by contaminated air, water, food, physical contact, or by insect or animal bite. Now the organism which transmit the pathogen, like the housefly, are called vectors. Diseases like cold, cough, conjunctivitis, viral fever, smallpox, cholera, plague, malaria, measles, dysentery, etc. are a few communicable diseases. Now, infectious agents or pathogens of communicable disease. Pathogens, which means like bacteria, fungi, virus, protozoan, helminths. Now, bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoan, and worms are the example of pathogens. Now, the disease caused by various pathogens. Now, bacterial diseases can be like tuberculosis, cholera, tetanus, syphilis, diphtheria, typhoid, whooping cough, pneumonia, gonorrhea, botulism, diarrhea, anthrax, etc. Virus can cause mumps, poliomyelitis, rabies, chickenpox, smallpox, hepatitis B, common cold, influenza, AIDS, etc. Fungi can cause ringworm and athlete foot. Protozoan can cause malaria, amoebic dysentery, Kala Azar, which is also known as Leishmaniasis, Trypanosomaniasis, which is sleeping sickness, and helminthic disease are filariasis, which is elephantiasis, and ascariasis and tiniasis. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.